Hey guys, what's up? It's Katy and I am back with a little video on the champion. I ended up going for him as a 3-star and I got him, and he's interesting. Just gonna go over a little few things about him and what I think about him, his stats, what he'd be good for, of course. I'm definitely not an expert on him. I've only got to test him out a little bit and I only have him as a 3-star. So I'm just gonna put out what I know about him, my thoughts on him. If you guys have any differing opinions or if you guys agree with mine, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Okay? Thank you. All right, so let's quickly take a look at his stats and go over his attack. And right now, his attack, actually the lowest in the game, other than King Groot at 395. So, not very good. Definitely not a top offensive champ. His quick damage is 720. It has him ranked at about 36 in the game. So his actual crit rating is super low. It's down to number 90, close to Colossus and Luke Cage at 353. But you can increase it by throwing special 2s, and so we'll get into that here a little bit later on. Definitely he is a defensive champ. His health, he's ranked number 8 in the game, just under Thor and Groot and Korg. So his block proficiency, it's actually not the highest, at about 277. His armor rating is actually pretty high at about 270. So he's up there with Sabretooth and Hulkbuster. So like I said, his stats tend to point towards him as being a defensive champ and not an offensive champ. That's for sure. All right, so let's take a look at his signature ability, which is the Primal Fury. When at least one of his Fury buffs is active, the champion unleashes the full potential of the power primordial, and this increases the potency of his armor break by X amount. Additionally, when he activates 2 or more of the Fury buffs, he becomes unstoppable, shrugging off the impact of the opponent's basic attack for 5 seconds. While attacking or defending on the final node in a quest for each active Fury buff, and while his unstoppable buff is active, he regenerates X% of the damage taken this fight per second, excluding the amount already regenerated by this ability. This ability can regenerate up to a maximum of 5% health per second, which we have all seen when fighting him in the monthly quest this month. Or we watched me do it and fail. In addition to regenerating health, the champion is immune to Fate Seal, Heal Block, Petrify, and any effects that modify regeneration other than poison. So basically, Yondu, Ghost Rider, Hood, and Cap Infinity War, they are not going to work out too well against his health regeneration. So that kind of sucks. All right, so persistent charge. The champion channels the power primordial, the residual energy, blah, 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 to enhance his physical form and gain up to 5 persistent charges. Every 13 seconds, the champion gains 1 persistent charge and activates Fury buffs equal to his persistent charge, each granting him X attack rating for 4.2 seconds. 1 persistent charge is lost for every 20 hits in the opponent's combo meter, and when the opponents use Nullify to remove any of his Fury buffs. So, okay. Alright, so now we've got Champion of the Universe. The champion seeks to fight against the greatest fighters in the universe. While fighting them, he gains persistent charges 28% faster and increases the duration and ability accuracy of all of his buffs by a flat 25%. So, this is where I think it's pretty interesting that Kabam actually named the contest's greatest fighters, and they named Star-Lord, Starkey, Corvus, Hype, Iceman, Archangel, Blade, Gwenpool, Void, Hulk Ragnarok. Really? Magic, and Ghost Riders. So this is where I think it's interesting, because they've always said all champs are equal, yet here they are naming the contest's greatest fighters. Very curious. Very curious. Alright, while attacking or defending the final node in a quest, the champion gains X armor and block penetration. So this is why he is going to be definitely used in defense, I feel like, and definitely put as the boss for sure. All right. Light attacks require 2 persistent charges, and that activates true accuracy for 7 seconds if intercepting the opponent's dash attack, allowing him to ignore auto block and all evade effects. Medium attacks require 3 persistent charges, and that inflicts an armor break if intercepting the opponent's dash attack, reducing armor rating by X amount for 6 seconds. So definitely when it comes to fighting with the champ, you're gonna need to be good at intercepting. For his ignoring, the evading, the champs that use evade, I think there are better champs out there. You got Iceman, Killmonger, Karnak, Venom. So I just think there are better ones. All right, special attack 1. When the champion has 4 or more persistent charges, he spends 1 to activate a regeneration buff, regenerating X health for over 3 seconds. So that right there we've all seen also in the monthly quest, where it was just annoying. Special attack 2. Now this, remember when I said even though his crit was kind of low, you can beef it up with the special attack 2, and this is where it is. You spend 2 persistent charges if hitting the opponent, granting X amount critical rating for this attack. So if I were going to use the champion, I would definitely try to use the special 2. The special 3 doesn't sound very useful. It spends 2 persistent charges to activate a fury buff, granting X attack for 10 seconds. Now granted, 10 seconds is a long time and everything, but I don't know, it doesn't seem so useful. This fury also counts towards the champion's Primal Fury signature ability. But still, I feel like if you're going to use any of his specials, the special 2, gaining that extra crit rating, is definitely the way to go. So based on, all of his abilities and stuff, it definitely seems like he is way more useful on defense than he is on offense. So, alright, so now we are going to take a look at some of his synergies. And honestly, this is where the champion shines, is with his synergies, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be used for either 2 things. 1, he's going to be used defensively, or he's going to be used for his synergies. So he'll either be, the boss node, or maybe even node 24 because of his extra regen that kicks in. But otherwise, I'd say he's going to be a boss, or he's going to be used for his synergies. So let's go ahead and take a look at his synergies here. And for Aegon, he's got some David and Goliath. Aegon gets 20% attack rating while fighting larger champs, and the champion gets 20% attack rating when fighting smaller champions. He's got one with Mephisto, and that's persistent force. And Mephisto gains 15% attack rating for each persistent charge. And the champion gains when the champion has 3 or more persistent charges, he starts the fight with an indestructible buff, ignoring all incoming damage for 8 seconds. And so that's a long time. So then he's got a weird little synergy with Luke Cage. So the champion is unstoppable when using a light and medium attack. And Luke Cage gains a 35% chance to inflict debuffs as long as he never dashes back in a fight, which is kind of weird, that you're not going to be able to dash back. So that's going to be a little weird. But the one I really want to talk about right now is the one with Sentry. And because this benefits Sentry so much. He'll also get another one with Aegon, but with Sentry, oh my gosh, 12% attack rating for each reality warp. So this one, I'm just going to show it to you guys. So they're both 3 stars here, but you're going to see how much faster Sentry clears through the content because of his reality warp versus how fast the champion clears through content here. So it's really kind of crazy. He builds up his reality warps, and he's getting 12% attack rating for each one. So basically you can bring that over. So when you pair Sentry up with the champion and you throw Aegon in the mix, oh my gosh, Sentry is gonna be a beast. All right. So, I talked about the specials, so let's go ahead and see what they actually look like, even though maybe we've seen some of them in the event quest. So, first one is the special one, and it's the Judo Chop. And you get some regeneration, not much for mine, over 3 seconds, and it really isn't doing much good here, but, I guess maybe it could scale up pretty well. I'm not totally sure. So, the problem here is I feel like his special 1 is easy to dodge. His special 2, the Missile Drop Kick, basically channels the power of the Primordial to his legs to unleash the Fury, blah, blah, blah. We all know how that goes. Takes a couple persistent charges, and this one is the one that does grant that critical rating that I was talking about earlier. So if you are losing, this is how you want to make up for it. But once again, not very hard to dodge, or not, it is very easy to dodge. All right, and here's his special 3, which, does give him a Fury buff, but for a 3-star, it only, grants 80% attack rating for, what is that, the 10 seconds? So it looks kind of cool. He does that whole, Batman backbreaker thing, but I really just don't see anything special about it. I think you can do much more damage with the special 2 than the special 3. So, if you take a look at the video below, Sentry has already cleared the map, and the champ is still going. So that just shows you how much attack rating the synergy with the champion gives Sentry. And that's right here is where I think the champion actually shines, is with his synergies. So my final thoughts on the champion. He's not very good offensively. If you're going to use him offensively, honestly, it would just seem to be, using him for the synergy with Sentry. You could use, his special 2 does, grant him more of a critical rating, and he can get, good block penetration. So if you're fighting against auto block champ, he could be decent there with his, true accuracy. So, maybe fighting against Medusa or, some other champs that auto block it wouldn't be bad. But again, I feel like there are better champs with that, Mcoc and stuff. So, and to shut off the evasion, I also feel like there are other champs that do it better, such as Iceman, Karnak, Killmonger, Venom. So I just feel like he'd be better defensively, and they kind of made him that way, especially with that last little bit about being the final boss at the end of the quest. So, like I said, his synergy with Sentry seems to be the thing that's going for him, which I'm sure makes another YouTuber, Idelist, extremely happy since he has a 565 sentry. So who do I think a good counter would be? Well, for sure Magic. Dr. Voodoo would be awesome. Ghost Rider, he would be decent. The Hood, I think the Hood would be great. Maybe this would make him a little less underrated. I think he's extremely underrated. Symbiote Supreme. I think this is where Symbiote Supreme could really shine too, even though we already know he's pretty boss. So, that's all I got. If I missed anything, please let me know. You can let me know in the comments below, or if you maybe think I got something wrong, please let me know, or just let me know what you guys think of the champ. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe and to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks, guys. Bye.